So I got sent something today, y'all, and I got to talk about it. It was a video of a young lady, and she was telling women that your expectations and standards are way too high for what you actually are. Like you don't match up for what you're asking for. And it's been this rhetoric. I mean, everybody's familiar with Kevin Samuels at this point, and it's this reverse backlash against having women feel too good about themselves, and the understanding that you don't deserve a good man, basically, that you have to be a good woman in order to get a good man. And so what she was basically saying is, if you got children by other people, and if you're too old, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, how you gonna be expecting this type of man? And you guys have already heard this rhetoric, so I don't have to keep going in over and over giving you examples. But what I want to do is cut straight to the chase. Are women today asking for too much? From my opinion, no. From my opinion, no. Most women that I've talked to all over the country, numerous times on Facebook Live, because I do these videos all the time on Facebook Live, most women are looking for a man that's loving, hardworking, decent, and monogamous. And yes, I believe that any man that agrees to be in a relationship with a woman should be able to do that. And a woman should expect a man to be loving, hardworking, decent, and monogamous. People are walking around acting like all these women want just rich dudes that's 6'4", when most men aren't that, and they've still had multiple opportunities at women in their lives. Most men, no matter how short, unattractive, or broke they are, have had a woman willing to hold them down. So to say that women's expectations are too lofty nowadays, to me, is, in comparing it to men's expectations, because let's be honest, it takes so much to get a man to commit to you. You can bend over backwards, be the most perfect person, be thin and shape, a porn star in bed, be only, giving your attention to him. You can endure his growth pains and everything, and he's still not wife you. So if we're going to talk about whose expectations in order to enter a relationship is higher, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How many men have you known have let the good one get away because they couldn't get their stuff together? I will say this, and this is just me being completely honest, and I want to go forward with this message. To be completely honest, let's talk about it. I think, in my opinion, women seem to be more equipped to enter relationships. They tend to be the more successful party inside the relationship. And I find that most women today only want someone to match their energy. I truly believe that when you take out the loudest people in the room, you got 10% of the loudest people in the room. You got the 10% of the women that are like just kind of clueless, talking about, man, I need me a baller. But let me tell you this, most women that are saying that have actually, at least been in concert with ballers before. But I guess my point is, I think the other way around, though, is not matched. And men, I know you guys are going to have a heart attack about this, but I think we need to talk about it. Men are not studying interpersonal communication before getting into a relationship. Men are not healing childhood trauma before getting into relationships. Men are not fully learning how to be monogamous in single life before they get into relationships. Men are not learning boundaries and enforcing them in their dating lives. So now when they get in a relationship, they're out of practice with telling a woman no. Men have trouble resisting temptations more. I've done seminars all over the world, right? And I've had 97% women at every one of my shows. It leads you to the understanding, it gives you the understanding that women are seeking how to be better inside relationships. Women are seeking self-improvement. How many of you guys got either one of my books or some self-improvement relationship book in your bookcase? Now ask a dude how many books they got about improving themselves for relationships. Let's just be honest. Ask your man What book is he reading to improve himself on a relationship? Do they got the 5 love languages? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes the difference. The difference is the party that is most ready for relationships are asking for the other party to be ready, and they're not getting that. Be honest. Most people watching right now would be happy with a man that's loving, again, monogamous, hardworking, and decent. Be honest. I mean, he got to be somewhat attractive too, but most people, and I find that most women, not the outlandish women, but most women that I talk to, that's all they asking for. And the rhetoric is, and this is what I'm upset about, is that in order to get a man to be hardworking, decent, loving, and monogamous, you have to excel at being a woman. When that should be the basic relationship package. That should be the floor level. That should be, if you enter a relationship, you should be able to do these basic things. So is it fair to expect that a woman who seems to be more ready for relationships than their male counterparts to feel like they deserve at least a man that can meet them there? Because they're looking at themselves and they're saying, well, I'm loving, I can be loving, so I want someone that's loving. I'm decent, so I want somebody that's decent. I can be monogamous, so I want somebody that's monogamous. I think if you really tell me if a person get into a relationship, do they deserve that? Yes. Yes. And here's the question for all the people that feel like, nah, you don't. Here's the thing. If you are a men, listen to me. Why would you get in a relationship with someone if you didn't feel like they deserved your best self? The problem that I feel like, and if ladies comment below, if I'm misquoting anything, I need you guys to correct me. If I'm talking out my neck and not advocating well, I need y'all to correct me. Most women's problem isn't getting into a relationship. Most of the women that we're talking about right now have been in one. The problem is once you get in a relationship, motherfuckers acting like a motherfucking fool. That's the problem. It isn't, I can't get in one. It's, can I find someone that can keep their penis in their pants? And these are small human behaviors that I think if someone is in a relationship with another person, they should expect them to be able to do. For example, a man expects fairly regular sex. You guys know that. It's not this is not a secret to anybody watching, right? Fairly regular sex. And, that's not a secret, Just like a woman would expect you to have a fairly regular paycheck. That's not a secret. So when we are up here acting oblivious to what most people inside a relationship expect, and then what we're trying to do is now say, okay, because we're not meeting those things, we want our women counterparts, our female counterparts, to be more tolerant of us refusing to step up to the plate on those very basic things. And the thing I hate, and I'm going to go on for days about this, the thing I hate is men equating, well, can you cook and clean? These women ain't cooking and cleaning these days, to the fact that you can't keep your penis in your pants. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. These women ain't like they used to be. They used to cook and clean. Some still probably better than you. Okay, they still do. But equating that, your issue with modern women is that they're not cooking and cleaning as much, and they're not as reliant on you, more so that they have jobs and stuff now, yada yada. Life don't revolve around you. That's your biggest problem with today's women. But their biggest problem have always been the biggest problem, which is you not keeping your dick in your pants. Ladies, be honest. Let's be honest. You'd be happy with that, right? Yeah, somebody that could like really just, be faithful, have integrity, self-respect, you know, exercise boundaries. Like the thing is, fellas, this is the problem. A lot of men don't realize how hard that is to find. And because I don't date men, obviously, I don't firsthand know. Most women come equipped with that shit. So the women that I've dated in my lifetime have not struggled with those things. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's psychological, biological, maybe it's different. I don't know. But most women that I've met in my life came with the monogamous package. I mean, if I've been cheated on, it's been really, really discreet and it ain't never came out. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've never really, now I've had a toxic relationship before, but my point is basically most women that I've encountered were seeking commitment, were seeking monogamy, were pretty loving and supportive by nature. And maybe that's because obviously they're preparing more for relationships, or it can be different character traits between men and women. That's arguable. But reverse, fellas, don't think because that's how your dating life has been that that's how it is with women. I think it's probably the opposite. Most of the women that I've talked to have been in relationships where infidelity did happen. Most women that I've talked to have been in a relationship with someone was cheating, starting with their partner. A lot of women that I've been in relationships, have conversations with, have been in abusive relationships, physically and mentally. Whereas most men that I talk to can't relate to that. And so when we are comparing our men issues, what women are going, like what the issues we are having with women is they're not cooking and cleaning. Oh my God. Y'all, it just getting to me so bad, right? Because I be watching Kevin Samuels. First of all, I watch Kevin Samuels because I don't know, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Like, I can't turn off the screen. I really can't. But it'd be like, what other bullshit is he gonna say next? I mean, there's probably some truth to some of the stuff he says, but I be rolling my eyes because I'm like, the it's so misogynistic, for real. Like, it really is misogynistic. Like, it's bad. But the modern woman doesn't want to make a sandwich. But the modern man don't want to keep his dick in his pants. And so we have this pearl of problems that we're trying to equate to each other when it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not. Now, ladies, listen. Let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna sit up here and I'm gonna get to y'all questions in a second. I know I'm talking. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that there are not inner work that both men and women have to do. Ladies, I've preached so much about this. Positioning your feminine qualities first. Not that you have to manufacture and act more feminine than you are, but you'll go farther, especially dating initially, if you position your feminine qualities first on dates. There's tangible things you can do. If you have, a little attitude problem, you probably should get that under control, just like anybody, right? I would say, especially nowadays, being industrious, take self-sufficient. That's while you're single. That's important for you to do. To be able to have independence, but then also be able to be a partner. I do love how, especially in the Black community, I love how our women are strong. They've had to be strong. No other community have dealt with things African Americans or Black people in this country have dealt with. So you will find that our men and women are typically stronger than most. Okay, just is what it is. But there's a fine line between being strong and combative. And the one thing that men, especially masculine men, tend to not want is competition inside of their relationship, combativeness. And these are things that, can be worked on. So no one's sitting here. Listen, I'm the first to tell you that I'm not sitting here. You watch, ladies, you guys have watched my videos. Most of my videos are geared toward you making improvements on yourself. So I'm not sitting here saying that there is not some plight to men, especially black men, feeling like, okay, these are some things that we feel like women should work on. And I feel like there should be a listening ear. But when we try to now erase your plight with us because we have some small issues with sandwiches not being made, it just seems distasteful. It really does. When infidelity and physical abuse from women to men reach the same level as men to women, then now we can sit here and objectively have a conversation about that. But the discrepancies are so large that it tells us. And then when you think of those things, those are relationship killers. If you leave in a relationship because your lady ain't making you a sandwich, no. Yeah. I mean, shit. Now, okay, before I go forward, because I think this is important. I think we got to talk about this. This part is important. Brothers, for the brothers that are watching, I want y'all to hear me, and I want you to hear me real good. I want you to hear me real good. Listen, the one thing I am sure of, and this is what I'm absolutely sure of, if you pick the right woman, is I don't really feel like your woman would have a problem if you was handling your business, like really handling your business, making you a sandwich. I just don't think nobody has a problem with that. For real. I mean, now if your lady have a problem with that, that's just, you just pick wrong. At that point, you picked the wrong person. If you coming home and you are financially taking care of your family, you are a leader inside your family, you are being a great father to your children, you are the rock, you are not only physically tending to her sexual needs, but mentally and emotionally. And this is what I tell men all the time. Brothers, when you get in a relationship, I don't want to make it seem like it's a job, but it is a job, yo. It is not optional. The time there, you have to invest. This is why I tell men, do not get into relationships until you are ready to invest time there. Okay? Because this becomes it's a responsibility and a bill, my nigga. It's a bill. Children, bill. Wife, if you handling your business, bill. You know what I'm saying? It just is. It just is. And so when you're handling your business and you're able to do that, I'm telling you, sandwiches will be made. Now, ladies, I know y'all like, why you keep mentioning sandwiches? Sandwiches is a euphemism. What's the word? Euphemism? It just means like the traditional woman thing, right? And here's my point in saying this. When we talk about the expectations for men and women, for a man to expect that without doing the relationship things that foster that desire within your partner, like, it's like, okay, you want sex, but you're not doing any foreplay. You're not taking her out. You're not being romantic. And then you complain about her not giving you sex. Whereas, I mean, you and I both know if you took her out to a nice dinner, wrote her a poem, put on some Keith Sweat on the ride home and shit, she walked in the bedroom and there's candles lit and rose petals, you probably gonna get smashed that night. I mean, it just because you work for it. The problem is we get too lazy and things become expectations for us. And these things don't happen. But everything I'm talking about, let me finish this point because it's gonna come back and hit and bite y'all in the ass real good. Everything we're talking about, especially the problems that men are having, can be fixed by men doing better in relationships or in the beginning picking better. And the reason I'm harder on men is because I've been raised and taught that men, especially if they want a family, should be leaders inside their household. And so ultimately, the buck stops at you. Now, I get you want to point blame and act like it's everybody's fault, but that's not how I was raised. So for brothers that have a problem with anything I'm saying, we just was raised different. We just cut from different pedigrees. If the lights go off in my house, it's my responsibility. I'm not going to be blaming stuff on my wife as to why the lights ain't on. You know what I'm saying? I can't go back to my niggas in the hood and be like, my lights are off. I ain't got food to feed my family, and then blame it on my wife. Maybe she had something to do with it or not. I don't know. But ultimately, it was my responsibility. And when I made these, hypothetically, if I made vows and a promise to hold down my family, I'm going to do that by any means. And I'm not going to be blaming my family for me not taking care of and making sure that we straight. And that's just how I was raised. If you're raised differently, then my bad. Shit, I don't want to put my particular standards of how I feel men should be in relationships on you. But what I am saying is, if you are a leader, then part of being a leader is the relationship with your quote unquote follower. And if you're a great leader, that quote unquote follower is inspired and impelled, like inspired and moved to be better for you. You see what I'm saying? But everything that we talked about, again, I feel like if you were a better man, you'd get a better result. Now let's go back to the stick the landing point. For women, if the issue is infidelity, now we taking it to real life relationship, life or death things, right? That's a you problem. Like if you're can't keep your dick in your pants, that's a you problem. No matter how good she is, that's not gonna keep your dick in your pants. You feel me? So what I found is the issues that men and women are having are, I'm not gonna minimize the ones that men are having towards women, but yes, I am. It doesn't equate. It doesn't equate, because I've heard women say, I'm going to be the best woman I could be and still get cheated on. And this is a large percentage. We're not talking about here and there. It's a large percentage that this is happening to. It's not solved by her being a better her. It's solved by there's not enough pool of quality men for relationships. And let me say that, quality men for relationships. Like, it's one thing to be a high value man. It's another thing to be a high character man. And it seems like there is a shortage of that. And the reason why there's a shortage of that is because we are not investing as much. Brothers, I just want to encourage you guys to go to therapy. I want to encourage you guys to, up your financial level. I want to encourage you guys to separate how you talk to your boys when you get angry with how you talk to your lady. I want you to honor her, assign her to honor. I don't want to get in biblically, but that's what God told us to do, is to honor our woman. And with that honor, it is, yes, when you honor something, it is treating it with a supreme respect, almost like a pedestal. And it says a sign of honor as to the weaker vessel, but it wasn't necessarily meaning weaker in, I guess, like a sense of, ladies, that the guy wrote it. I don't necessarily, he wrote it. I'm just here telling you what he wrote, but I don't think it means weaker as inferior. It just means delicate. It's more delicate. And so when you are having conversations with your wife or your girlfriend, it has to be handled more delicately than you would necessarily another man. There's times you may think something is small and unimportant, but she's more delicate emotionally. Not necessarily, I'm not sitting here saying fragile or break easily, but it just means when something, matter of fact, this is a good word. When something is valuable, it's handled with care. It's because it's more delicate, it has to have more attention to it. You know, you just can't be flopping it around. And these are things that we are, we have to do better. I mean, we just do. It's no way to get around that. We have to do a lot better. And I think we will do better. But it has to be some intentionality with it. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know people gonna take this clip. Nah, they ain't watched this long. Trust me, they ain't watched this long. The people that really want to be here is the people that watch this long. But I'm gonna say it. This whole reverse victimhood that men are basking in now, to me, is some weak ass shit, man. It's some weak ass shit. Now I get it. You don't watch dudes like me be on the internet uplifting our women for so long, and you just couldn't wait for a motherfucker come down and try to tear them down. Like, listen, I do not get how we as a community can support a man calling black women to their face bitches and hoes and fat and this, that, and other. It's on the internet, and it's a guy that's gotten really popular doing that. No matter if there's truth to what he's saying or not, that's some weak ass shit, man. It really is just weak as fuck, bruh. Like, and have the nerve to call themselves alpha men and high value men. And like, I would say the true character of a man is shown with how he respects and loves his woman. And not even just his woman, but all women. All women. And we've all fallen short to that. I'll be the first person to say I fell very short to that. My first relationship, I was horrible. If you guys look at my bio, I say I was a former fuckboy. That's what I was. And it took years of remaking my character to get to a space where I realized how the responsibility as a black man that I have. The last thing as a black man I want to do is get on the internet and try to put black women in their place, when for hundreds of years in this country they've been put in their place. So I just don't get it. The very moment, like, there is now something to celebrate, women's empowerment and a movement to be equal inside the workplace, a movement to get rid of the Me Too movement, to get rid of sexual predators and the sexual harassment that they've been facing, that they still think about it. Even in popular music, it's still there. Popular music, the misogyny, all that patriarchy, all that rape culture, it's still there. But now that there is a movement to now say, we gonna strip away some of these things that are afflicting our women, now there's this counter movement that's saying, no, we don't like that. Y'all standards too high. You got too many kids. You big. You don't deserve love. Like, that's just horrible. It's just horrible. It's horrible. And if the reason I say that is there's a time and a place and a way to say things. There may be truth, but no one said be bluntly obvious. Like or not. What is it? Brutally honest. Nobody told you to be brutally honest. Like, brutally honest hurt people. And what it does is, a lot of times, the people you are trying to help, you're hurting. And this is why tact is important. And I know for myself, I may appear to be softer than most, by the way I do these videos, but I just would like to call it tact. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, man, I've learned how to communicate effectively, especially with women, because um, women are different. Women are different. And for the men that are watching, the moment you realize that, I think your life would be better. I just think your life would be better. You have to communicate differently, And so on this platform, I try to talk to you all as if, I was like Uncle Ace or something. You know, there are times I got a fire under my ass, but it still comes out respectfully. I ain't called a woman a bitch. I can't tell you. Listen, I can't tell you when the last time I did that. And that's probably from my real hood days. But I don't even use the word. Like, you guys, you hear me say it now because I have to say it in reference to what I've been hearing men do. But I don't even say that word. That's how disrespectful I think it is. You know what I'm saying? To women. But the fact that we have prominent black men that are, trying to take the lead to, I don't know what the purpose is, but I would imagine some relationship coaching, but so freely saying that out online to black women, I just don't like it at all. And so I guess my ending point is, are women expecting too much? For the large majority, no. I feel like women aren't getting enough. I feel like they're not getting enough from us. And if that makes me beta, then okay, I guess. I don't understand this word. People keep calling me. I'm like, these dudes keep calling me beta. I don't know. What does this mean? Y'all, what does it mean? I'm like, why they keep calling me this? I'm not sure. I'm like, what does this mean, man? It sounds like some hating. You hating. Why they keep making up words, man? Why you can't? What, when you always against us? I'm not against you, brother. I'm for you. Listen, the only men that should ever have had a problem with any of my videos are men that are inconsistent, men that are toxic, men that are narcissists, men that are abusers, men that, I don't know, are lazy and are broke. And I get why those particular men have a problem. I think my miscalculation was I underestimated how many men that are like that, right? So that's probably why there's a large percentage of men mad at me. But I've always said this. I always said good men do exist. I've actually encouraged you, the watcher, to stop manifesting the realities of negative men by saying that's all you attract. I believe that for a lot of women, you have a who you give attention to problem. For a lot of women, you don't move off the wrong one fast enough and get to the right one. So if men went back and critically watched my message, you would understand that if you are a good guy, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm really on your side. Like, I'll never talk ish about good dudes ever. Now, ladies, what I will have y'all, I gotta say this. Y'all have the reason. No, I'm pointing now. I'm pointing. Y'all have the reason they mad at me. You know why? Because y'all be taking my little videos and sending it to them. Talk about, yeah, Ace said you need to stop doing this. That's probably why they mad, because y'all be taking these videos and using it as weapons. When they really for you. Let me tell you, ladies, before I end this, let me tell you this, because I said all this, but I do gotta put this caveat in it. Ladies, let's be honest. Let's be honest. For some of y'all, I don't think that wanting a six-figure man is the reason why you haven't found a man yet. I don't think desiring a chocolate ass, tall, sexy guy is the reason why you single. I believe even if you strongly wanted all those things, the men that you dated in your past ain't been those. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's to a point to where it is you're suffering. So when the argument is you're asking for something you don't have, like you're not enough to attract those men, to me is a blank argument, because we all want things. If you ask me how much money I want, I'm gonna say 30 million. And then you're gonna ask me what I want and then chastise me and tell me I don't deserve it. Lou, you asked me what I wanted. So I told you what I wanted. But most of us would be happy with blah, 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 blah. But I feel like the reason why, again, and I touched on it a little earlier, a reason why I feel like women are struggling is not because you're holding out for those guys that, let's be honest, it's only like 4% of the country that's like that. So if you hold out for those guys, you're gonna be holding on for a long time. But that's not the reason. The reason is the guy you gave a chance to that wasn't 6'4" and wasn't making over six figures. At some point you realize that he just wasn't a good person, and you try to make him into somebody that he wasn't. I believe this is the reason why we have this problem with why, and then you're with this person so long, it taints your ability to see the good in other men. And that can be subconsciously, because after so long of holding on to something that's hurting you, you become numb. And then you start to think that this is how love is. Think about it. They encourage women to get in relationships so early. So now when you're 20, 21, 24, 25, you're in these toxic ass relationships. This is the first real love you've experienced. So now you come to either normalize this way of toxic love, or think that that's all love is, and you're bitter and you turned off to it. Then in those relationships that we know wasn't going to work, kids came from it. Be honest, ladies. Let's be honest. A lot of times those kids came after you figured out that nigga had problems. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why. So, or as a large pool, are women's standards too high? I don't believe so, because even if they were high, it's not impacting the real issue, which is when you give a guy a chance, no matter who he is, and he proves that he doesn't deserve that chance, it's the staying with that man and wasting 2 or 3 additional years that's putting you back. Because I guarantee you this: if you that woman that feel like you deserve the rich guy that's 6'4" and chocolate, right? Either you gonna get him or you not. But at some point, somebody else gonna come and sweep you off your feet, and he 5'7". Crazy part about it is he 5'7", right? And crazy part about it is he makes $45,000 a year. That's the person you gonna end up having kids with and loving and shit. And hopefully he's a good person. I hope he is. That's so for everybody that's gonna sit up here and look at me sideways, talk about, nah, Ace, I'm gonna get a baller. All right, go try. But most of us, and I say us too, because men is the same way. Most of us is gonna end up with somebody that we happy with. And I wouldn't even consider that a constellation prize. And the thing is, people that we're happy with can come in all kind of shapes, sizes, walks of life. And I think it's important for us to put more emphasis on that. But we don't, we don't. And this is where we start to lose. We really start to lose there. So, anywho, ladies, I know I said I was going to take some questions, but then I started talking. Y'all know how I get. I started talking, and it just is what it is. So I might come back. I might come back a little later on and do the question and answer section. No, one more thing before I go, because I think this is important. one more thing before I go. Y'all, stop calling into that man's show. Stop calling into that man's show. Girl, you cannot win. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Kevin, stop calling into that man's show. You cannot win. Let me tell you something. You think you can, that's why you call. But that man is a great orator. He is strategic with the questions he asks because he know you're going to answer a certain way. He's done this 1,000 times. Y'all call him thinking y'all go catch him slipping. You not. The very moment you got him on the ropes, he going to cut you off. Oh, he going to cut you off. He ain't going to let you get a point in. Stop calling that man's show. I'm telling you. You can't win. Listen. Let me tell you this. The reason why I know this is, look, I've done these question and answer shows and live so much that I know 10 different ways to answer the same question. I would be on tour, and it's a joke between the people I tour with. Like, we know what questions going to be asked that night, and we literally be like, all right, which way Ace going to answer tonight? And they'll like take a poll because at some point I've been asked the same thing 1,000 times. I know how to answer and respond. And then also I know how to set you up to say something to lead into another point. This man is asking you these questions because he knows the only possible things for you to say. And he knows you don't know that he's setting up another point and another point and another point. It's just not going to be fair. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to be fair. And again, even if you caught him slipping, he going to cut you off. You ain't going to be able to say shit. So my point is, stop calling into this man's show thinking you going to tell him he wrong because he going to make you look stupid. I'm telling you. People underestimate how much skill it takes to talk and debate people on specific topics. And when you've been doing it for years upon years upon years upon years, you just can't come on camera right now and better talk me. You know what I'm saying? Like on these subjects, if you are not as well versed and have just as much time and control over the situation as I do, you're just not going to do that. So when people be pointing out that like the girls that be going on his shows proves everybody's point, it doesn't, because he knows the right answers, the questions to ask to elicit an answer that's going to bring him into another point. And as a regular person, you're not expecting somebody to be prepared to slice and dice you like that. So I'm just saying, y'all be careful. Call in his show if you want to. Good luck. I wouldn't call into his show. That would be done for me. Hell no, I ain't about to call into that dude's show. I'll be watching it though. I ain't even gonna lie. I do watch it. I love you guys. Peace out.